8 years ago, I created my very first set of force cubes. The gimmick was that I made them out of these really cool translucent stickerless cubes, meaning that the end results are also a little bit see-through, each one tinted its own unique color. Now this line of cubes has long since been discontinued, but long story short, I somehow managed to get my hands on not one, not two, but 6 of the 2x2 version of the original transparent cubes that I made these out of. So today, we're gonna do a bit of a throwback by creating the 2x2 version of my original force cubes. Here's what the unmodified cubes look like, by the way. Very nice. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start the time lapse. And here are the results. Wait a minute, what's with all those logos? Hold on a sec, let me just peel these off real quick. There we go. Good thing we're visiting the good old days when logos used to actually always be removable. Anyway, before I talk about the results, I want to quickly discuss not just the history of force cubes in general, but how my original transparent ones came to be. It all started with the Diane Zanchi. For some reason, the stickerless version was made out of a slightly different plastic than the black version, and many people preferred how the stickerless one turned. The only problem was, stickerless cubes were not yet legal in cubing competitions, so people had to come up with clever solutions to turn a stickerless cube into a stickered cube. One of those was named the Force Cube, where you bought 6 of the stickerless version, took everything apart, and then rearranged them into 6 solid color cubes. You'd then sticker them all up, and then most commonly use the white plastic version in a cubing competition. That way you'd get that nice feeling stickerless plastic. Essentially, you were spending $90 and a ton of effort to get one slightly nicer feeling speed cube, and so as a 13-year-old who wasn't that into speed cubing, I had no reason to make force cubes. That was until a couple of YouTubers decided to make force cubes just for fun, out of a much cheaper budget 3x3, the YJ YuPo. I suddenly realized that this was more in my price range, and I could make my own set unique by starting with this cool transparent version I had heard of. My video about it blew up, becoming my 3rd most popular by the end of 2015, and I've loved making force cubes ever since. Oh yeah, and back in the day, adding stickers to force cubes wasn't even a question. That's just what you did. So I found these really cool transparent stickers, which match really nicely on the white and yellow cubes. Unfortunately, they don't look as good though on the darker cubes. They kind of just blend in and you can't really see anything. Anyway, that brings us to earlier this year, when I was just browsing for different things to make force cubes out of, when I came across the transparent YJ YuPo, the 2x2 version of the Yulong. I thought, surely that was discontinued years ago, but I cautiously ordered 6 of them, and then guess how many showed up in the mail? 4 of them showed up in the mail. So it's like, okay, what do I do now? I scour the internet looking for someone who still sells these, and sure enough I find one. I order the remaining 2, and then nothing happens for a month. Eventually the store emails me. They're like, oops, do you still want these? I say yes, and then miraculously, the last 2 show up in the mail. And just like that, I finally got my hands on these who knows how many year-old puzzles so that I could finally make the companions to my original force cubes. Now, as for the process of making these, it was very straightforward. The pieces are very easy to take apart and put back together. I think the hardest part was actually just taking apart 2x2s and putting them back together. So if you can do that, then these cubes are really no problem. As for the looks, these things look absolutely incredible. The internal pieces of the 2x2 are all this clear white color, which is kind of cool because you can almost tell that the ball making up the core is a slightly different color than the rest of the cube, which just makes for a really cool multi-layer sort of look. Of course, the white cube is all clear all the way through. You can still see the ball inside, and I think the coolest looking part of all of them is just the mechanism of the corners. You can see exactly how the 3 pieces of the stickerless mechanism attach to each other, which is just a very unique look, and I wish more modern speed cubes would do fun things like this. Imagine a top-of-the-line GAN cube, but where all the plastic is completely clear. That way you can see all the piece magnets, all the core magnets, all the maglev, and all the adjustment systems. That would be awesome. And as for the turning, well, they turn. It's nothing special that you wouldn't find in any old budget cube nowadays, but I'd say it holds up surprisingly well given how old it is. This would have been one heck of a good deal back in the day. But of course, there is no reason to turn these as they are now because they have no stickers, and that's something that I do want to address. I think the de-stickerification of force cubes over the years has been slightly my fault since I've been making them and not putting stickers on them for longer than almost anyone else. I really did want to put some stickers on these ones to commemorate the originals, especially since I love how the white and yellow ones turned out, but I just have no idea where I'd find transparent transparent sticker material like this nowadays, it's hard enough to find stickers at all. So you know what? Laziness prevails, and we are going to be continuing the trend of unstickered force cubes. So if anyone knows where I could get that kind of sticker material, or if you just have any more ideas for force cubes to make, definitely let me know down in the comments. But I think these are a worthy throwback to the originals, which started this whole force cube journey. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed a little bit of modding and a little bit of history, because that's pretty much it, and I'll see you guys next time.